So that last video I made about showing your work brought up a really great opportunity to talk about what is a balanced relationship. Every trainer says this with very little explanation behind it. How do you start having a balanced relationship with a dog? Step number one is observation. First and foremost, before you try to influence a dog in any type of way, you need to be able to do a period of observation where you learn who the dog is without any influences. This is going to be based on a couple different things. One, genetic factors. Who is this dog bred to be? What are inherently some of its qualities that are not going to be changed with training? Two, what type of environment has this dog been in? What type of environment were they imprinted in? Like during some of their most crucial information gathering times, like when they're a puppy. What was that environment like? If you have access to that information, it's great. If you don't, you can look at the way the dog is behaving and figure those things out. Three is actually you integrating your relationship. After environment, after you've learned who the dog is genetically, then you can start seeing who is this dog with some influence on its behavior. Now, when we're talking about building our relationship with a dog, we need to look at many, many different things. Some of them seem so minuscule, and so many people get caught up on how to correct their dog instead of looking at how they should be behaving around their dog first. A lot of times you'll just change how you're behaving around your dog first, and it will solve any issues that you might have without you even having to correct anything. This starts from the moment you wake up in the morning, the way that you engage with your dog. What type of affection are you giving your dog? What type of activities are you engaging in with your dog? Are you asking your dog to move forward in certain situations? Are you asking your dog to be with you in certain situations? How frequently is your dog with you, and how frequently is your dog motivated or with the environment? Then you can break it down to even the more minute things like, how does my dog move through thresholds? How does my dog feel about food? How does my dog feel around other dogs? How does my dog feel about strangers coming into my home? A lot of these things and these factors that play into our relationship with our dogs, you're going to figure out during the observation period. It's really, really important. So many people just want to go in and immediately start changing behavior, but they have not spent long enough observing the dog to understand what is the root of the symptom that's going on. Symptoms are just things that pop up that we don't like, that are not the core of the problem, which is typically relationship. Every once in a while, there's genetic stuff going on. But a lot of times, we're just doing things with our dogs that we don't even realize that we're doing. Like when we come home and we give our dog tons and tons of affection, and then we're upset when a new person comes in and they get super excited. Well, we've been reinforcing that every single day that we pass through our door, and then we immediately start giving our dogs affection when they're in an excited state of mind. You also have to think about things like, there's so many affection-based examples I could give. Another one is, my dog is very possessive of me. Well, I'm giving my dog all types of affection when they're in a very emboldened state of mind, or when they're in a position of power. Like when my dog is up on the couch with me and then I'm giving a bunch of affection. They're in my intimate space. I'm creating competition by giving them something that's valuable around an environment where there could potentially be other factors at play, like social factors, other dogs or other humans. And I'm giving them a lot of unearned things, which makes the dog feel very entitled. So then when someone comes and reaches in and wants to touch that dog, they become possessive of the owner and they protect them. Or when another dog comes up and wants affection, they growl at the dog that's on the floor because you've been unknowingly allowing your dog to own you. So when we talk about having a balanced relationship, it means that we're taking the time during all those little moments through the day. It's not just about me giving you guidance and direction all the time. It's also just not about me giving you affection whenever I feel like it. It's about balancing all those things. It's about giving your dog information about you. It's about having some awareness that your behavior affects your dog's behavior. So many people want a trainer or a walker to come in and fix their dog's behavior. Well, I only have so much ability to influence your dog's behavior when they're spending the majority of their time with you. The most important imprints that are going to happen are with you and your dog together. That's why a lot of times I don't often suggest board and train, because Everyone goes, oh, but my dog is so well behaved with the trainer. Well, yeah, that's because your trainer is taking the time to make sure they come out of the crate slowly, to create relationships around food that are healthy, that create fair boundaries around other dogs, where they know how to read other dogs' behavior and pair your dog compatibly with energies that are going to make it feel good. It's all those little things that lead into a balanced relationship. So when you're going out on the walk and you're struggling, it's because your relationship is not balanced at home. When you're having struggles with reactivity, with overexcitement, with anxiety, it's because you're not being balanced in all the other ways that matter. You have to stop looking at the symptoms and look at the core root of the problem, and then you will have a very balanced dog and a very balanced relationship. When things come up, you'll be able to see more clearly how all of those pieces connect. But until you start learning about the foundation, about all the little whys of what your dog is doing and why they're doing it, then you're not going to have a fair place to be able to guide or correct your dog. If you have not observed your dog and you don't know how your behavior is affecting them, then you don't have any business correcting them. It's very simple. You just have to take the time. Jimi Hendrix did not learn to play the guitar beautifully in one day. He practiced every single day. He looked at all the little details of what makes the guitar sound good. He probably had to go to other people to tutor him and mentor him. He had to research, he had to practice. And then one day, it all came together and he became this amazing guitar player. So don't be fooled with your dog thinking that it's just a dog, that you just want to come home and share a ton of affection with your dog, but then you want to be able to do all these incredible things that take practice, like going and sitting somewhere where your dog needs to have a sense of calm, being able to have people over without your dog acting a fool, without hurting somebody, or potentially just being overexcited, annoying people. I have so many people who come over to my place and are like, wow, your dogs are not acting like buttheads when I walk in. And it's like, well, yeah, because we put in the time with them. I also have 2 dogs who do act like buttheads when they come in, and that's between the environment that they were raised in. Both of my dogs were owner surrenders who we've put in a lot of time and energy with. And then also, it's kind of like the cobbler's kids don't have shoes. My dogs probably get the least amount of work out of all the dogs that come into our environment because they're my dogs, and I'm not always necessarily getting paid to work them. So it takes a bit longer for me to get the results. Like, something I'm really working on with my dogs is that they still bark when people come in if the crate door is closed. If the crate door is open, my dogs feel fine. So I have to remember in those moments when I'm asking my dogs to not be reactive when people come in, 2 dogs who are both confident and insecure in different scenarios, I have to remember all the factors of why they're behaving that way. I'm not going to overcorrect a dog who's not getting clear information, who's not getting all of my time and attention. You have to do things fairly, thinking about the dog's perspective and what they have to gain from it in each moment. That's the way that you have a balanced relationship. If you're not willing to do that, then you really need to slow things down. You need to stop blaming your dog for their problems, and you need to step it up and live a more balanced lifestyle. It's probably just not with your dog that you're not being balanced. Typically, we get our dogs because the universe is trying to send us a little message about some things that we need to work on. And if you're not working on them, then they're going to show up in ways that you really don't like. So the best thing you can do to start all of this off is have a bit of self-awareness about you, your energy, and your practices. Then watch your dog, watch their energy and their practices. And when you merge those 2 things together, you're going to have an amazing relationship with your animal.